I can't say that. Operability, to reduce the duplication for coaches. There are sport-specific courses in training, sport-specific course, and multi-sport modules trained. So, for example, when we're looking at the instruction beginner or comp intro pathways, which we're going to see a bit later, so when coaches complete only, for example, only the coaching, the sport-specific components, they're going to be in training, but on top of the multi-sport and CCP courses, once all of those are completed, they're going to be trained, and that they get to the, they're ready to be evaluated in the evaluation process. Sport-specific course, yeah, exactly. So sport-specific course and multi-sport modules and the evaluation. So then you get the certified status in the locker.
And we see this a lot, right? We see a lot of people who think they're done when they just take the boxing coaching course, whether
Yeah,
it's instruction beginner or competition introduction.
yeah. So just there's a difference to highlight. So yeah, so there's a lot of coaches that think when they do the workshop in person, that usually takes place over a weekend, um, they're done and like certified, but that's only the in-person coaching workshop. So after that, there's gonna be the NCCP multi-sport to complete. So depending if the coaches are doing instruction beginners or comp intro, there's going to be a couple more to complete for comp intro. But once those are completed on top of the in-person workshop, so then the coaches are ready to do the evaluation process, which is we're going to see it a bit later, but the evaluation request can be done through the Boxing Canada website. So quick overview of the boxing courses along with the different certifications. So we can see here in the grid for instruction beginner, comp intro and comp dev, the purpose of each of those, and who takes care of like running each of those levels. So for instruction beginner and comp intro, the provincial associations are welcome to set their own courses through the locker and through their coaching community. But everything that relates to ComDev, Boxing Canada takes care of coaches' registrations. Usually we look at a group of minimum 10 to 12 people to schedule the course. And yeah, we take care of that component, but everything else, instruction beginner and comp intro, the provincial associations take care of that. It can be either, most of them, I think, from the learning facilitators that we know will do them in person, but it is also possible to do them remotely. There's a couple learning facilitators that do it online. So if there are any like questions about if there are any coaches looking for that opportunity down the line later, they can always get in touch with me and I can set them up with that learning facilitator. And then we just put a couple price ranges, how much it's going to come down to. For instruction beginner and comp intro, it's including the workshop and the NCCP multi-sport courses. And then the ComDev, it comes a bit higher, but it's also because there's some boxing e-modules to do. And then there's the performance analysis workshop that also includes one of the evaluations to be completed in the portfolio. So the
Andrea,
total, yes,
sorry to interrupt. I think it's just the three of us on the call, right?
yes,
Okay. I'm part of the cohort that took the comp dev course with Seth last year.
yes.
And there wasn't an evaluation at the end of that class, as I understand there is with the current one, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, so we just changed the format. Like we gave it a try with the last group.
Yeah.
So now it was like an in-person evaluation. But you're right, last year it was just like the course as it was. And yeah, unfortunately, we didn't hear back from Seth, just for personal matters. But
Yeah, it's awful what's happening. Yes.
so, but I think for you, there's probably a way we could make it work when there's going to be the next cohort, because I'm already looking at a couple of names to organize the next group, and
Okay.
there's going to be a way so that the last session where they do the evaluation, we could
Yep.
just put you in so you don't have to do the whole thing again, and you just jump in and do the evaluation, and like we just give you like share the guidelines, how it
Sure.
works, and so on.
Oh, there would be worse things than having to do that course again. It was super helpful and valuable, but yeah, please keep that in mind. I would like to, because my understanding is that's a requirement to get into the next series of the the boxing specific modules. Correct?
You mean for the other components of the portfolio?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and Chris, I think that could be like a discussion we could have. But so in
Okay.
that case, like, could we make an exception?
I think we'll actually go over that in a second when we look at the run through and how we can solve this issue for that cohort that had done that course with
Okay.
Seth. But that's a good note that we should be
Yep.
reaching out to each of those participants to say, hey, if you're looking to do your evaluation for the performance analysis module, here are our next upcoming opportunities to do so.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, and I think I was pretty much at the end. So
Yeah, and I think this other thing that you added on here about just letting people know that the advanced coach diploma
oh,
exists,
yeah.
but it really is not a very boxing specific program. It's really more about it's sort of a university level understanding of what coaching is and how coaching can be improved. Extremely important and valuable, but it's run sort of exclusively by the PTCRs through each of the sports centers, and it's quite a significant commitment. But anyone who is looking to be, a paid coach as a full-time job, I think this is an avenue that you probably want to start going down.
And did we say that for this pathway, it's like Boxing Canada is gonna recommend the names, or it's just like any coaches that are certified at a certain level they could enroll?
So the PTCRs, when a coach attempts to register for an advanced coaching diploma, will reach out to each sport to say, can we get a recommendation for this person that they are going to be an appropriate candidate for the ACD?
Okay. 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 So next, a couple issues that we have, are just like some stuff that we want to highlight about the coaching courses, is that it's important that every coach participating in the workshops are actually registered as members of this current year. And make sure that provinces advertise their courses in advance. They can also put it in the locker on the calendar to make sure that their members see well in advance the courses, and the LFs that we're gonna see a chart, I think, after this with every names that the provinces have. They can just decide to run their own courses on their own schedule. But yeah, the NSO suggests that they partner with their provinces just to make sure as well that the communication of the schedule runs through smoothly. Can also be, that's the thing, every learning facilitator have their own format. Some of them run it through a big block of 5 hours over one day, or others like over a weekend, maybe like 2 smaller blocks of hours online. Everyone has their own format of doing their own courses. And yeah, and like all the that's mostly for the instruction beginners and comp intro courses, and everything that relates to the comp dev level. So as I said a little bit before, there's a couple more content. So, and all that content is available on the locker online. So before it was hosted on another platform that we had, which was the coach.boxingcanada.org. All the e-learnings have now been moved on the locker, and they have been updated and available to all coaches that are minimum certified comp intro. If you're not certified comp intro, you will see the courses in the locker, but you won't be able to click the start button because you need that minimum certification to start the courses.
And thanks to Andrienne for all the work in putting those up. It was quite a task.
I can imagine. Is there a and we pay through the locker, or do we have to pay directly to Boxing Canada
So
to get started?
Yeah, so it's all on the locker that you can process all the fees. And so basically there's going to be 3 series of like e-modules. So each of those 3 series, they cost $50 each. So, and it's important to complete each of those e-modules in specific order. So they're all going to be numbered. For example, e-module 1.1, tactical abilities, e-module 1.2, something else. So make sure that they're completed in that specific order, because each of those, they unlock the next one and so on.
Okay.
So yeah, so when you go on the locker, there's a tab at the top of your screen. It's called e-learning. And then on the left, there's another tab with all the sports. So just click on boxing, and then they're all going to be there accessible.
Okay.
Yeah, and Andrienne was able to, by moving off the old platform, we were able to dramatically drop the cost of all that e-learning. So we're very thankful for the support that we got from the CAC.
It was north of, I think it was almost $2,000 on the other platform, right?
Yeah.
And now it's 150.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so that's just the chart that we have with every learning facilitators and evaluators that we have for each of the provinces. So for Alberta, we have a couple guys there running the instruction beginners and comp intro in-person workshops or online. BC, we only have Dave Brett, Manitoba, Brandon, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Nunavut, we don't have anyone. Nova Scotia, Brad, Ontario, we got a couple people there, and Quebec, we only have 3 guys, but looking to expand on this as well. Oh, Ontario, I forgot to put as well. Now we just got Jennifer as well that can run the courses.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And for the so on the far right, we have all the evaluators who can do the instruction beginner and comp intro evaluations for the certification processes. So we have a link on our website when the coaches are interested to get their certification done. They just choose if either they want to do the instruction beginner or comp intro evaluations, and they can also choose if it needs to be done like very soon. They can pay an extra fee to get a rush evaluation, or if someone actually didn't do the in-person workshop, they can choose to challenge the course, and it's an extra fee, but then they don't need to do the in-person course, but they do the challenge.
Okay.
But they still need to complete their NCCP courses. So that's the thing that coaches sometimes they maybe like forget or quite don't understand the challenge process. It's if you have not completed the in-person course, but you still need to complete all the multi-sport modules in the pathway.
Okay.
And just a note on our remote evaluators. So we are very much in favor of having coaches who have completed a workshop and have completed their multi-sport courses and who are ready to be evaluated. We really think that getting evaluated by someone who is different than who taught you the course is an important check in our system.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why we've moved to this primarily remote evaluation system. And as a side benefit, of course, when you look at that list of names, you see a number of former national team athletes there who,
Yeah.
are able to support themselves a little bit on the side with this opportunity. And we've got them sort of separated out by geographical region. But of course, if say, Hunter is, super busy and isn't able to do an evaluation, then of course we can drop that evaluation off to another evaluator.
Hunter Leaf, just for by way of background, is my comp intro evaluator. He's actually really good, by the way. Like, just I don't know if you get feedback. It's difficult doing it remote. He's really quite good. I've had no complaints or issues.
I'll make sure to pass
Yeah.
the good words to him.
Yeah.
Well, is evaluating me. I don't want it to influence my mark. Maybe I do. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, he's he's good.
Yeah.
Like always quick on the response. I'm the lazy one, but he's good.
For the record, we think all the evaluators are good, but certainly a big thumbs up to Hunter who got called out. So yeah.
Okay, and then like here we just have a quick like process on how for example, if one of the learning facilitators is actually interested to be an evaluator, so we have the process of how coaches need to get their check boxes done. So there's a core training. So the core training is actually run through by the NCCP or the CAC. So that's like a multi-sport course that needs to be done. And then there's the content specific, so the boxing specific training, which is organized with one of our master coach developers. So in this case, we have currently we have Brendan, who has helped us a lot. And it can be done through Zoom. So actually, I've exchanged with him in the past couple of weeks about this. So because we have just got Jennifer and another coach from Alberta certified to be LFs, but it's the same process for evaluators. So if there's an interest from other provinces to either get LFs or evaluators, it will be online, probably like a couple hours to look over at we have the LF guide, the coaching workbook, and I'm missing one.
The evaluator tools.
Yeah. So basically they go over all the tools over the call, and then they do a debrief together. And it's important that before they get to do their first evaluation or their first before they facilitate their first coaching course, they have to do a co-delivery with someone that's already certified, preferably, or like maybe it's easier to do it with someone from your own province. And then once that's done, you're good to go. The coach can either like evaluate or facilitate on his own. But there's also the evaluation component that's usually run by the CAC. It doesn't prevent though at this step to for the coaches to co-deliver, not to co-deliver, but to facilitate a coaching course or an evaluation. It's just after I'd have to check with the CC, but usually it can be done after quite a time if it's a year or 2 years. It's just like something that we need to organize with the PTCR, sorry, I'm missing the word. Like, for example, each province, they have, like, for example, Quebec, Sport Quebec, Sport Manitoba, and so on. So there's someone like neutral that will do the evaluation.
And that's just to double check on our learning facilitators and evaluators that they're functioning as guided. Yes. Okay.
But until like they get that checkbox like clear, it doesn't prevent, like, as soon as they have the co-delivery done, they can they can facilitate or evaluate on their own.
Okay.
So there we just put the updated instruction beginner and following after the other pathways. So just a reminder, so as we were talking about earlier for the in-training component, so that's the in-person boxing workshop that coaches need to do. So once that's completed, coaches will be considered in training in their locker. Then once they also complete on top of that all those NCCP courses that are listed there, once all 5 are completed, they will be updated to the trained status in their locker. And after that, once we receive the evaluation request and they pass, then they will get their certification status updated in their locker. And also just a note, in the instruction beginner, we also added number 5, the NCCP course, the emergency action plan, which I think was not there in the past, but we added it because it's important to have it. So so that's a small change that we have in this pathway.
And I think we added making headway sometime through last year too, didn't we? Because
Yeah,
that
I
used
think
to
so.
just be at the next one, and now we've moved it earlier.
Yeah.
So if I got my introduction to boxing without having to do the emergency action plan to complete Comp Dev, I would have to go back and finish that, I presume?
I think it's just like, since you did the old pathway in the past, like you got your certification completed already, so you don't need to worry about it. But
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, I think it's still required in the Comp Dev
I
pathway.
thought I saw it there, which is why I was
Yes.
confused. But okay,
Yeah, so like regardless if it wasn't completed in the past and like
gotta do it
regardless
anyway.
like yeah, it has to be done like for the later certifications. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we've done is just moved it earlier
Okay.
within the system. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
At some point in time, I saw that there was my recollection or imagination was that I saw that there's a requirement for continuing education in PD points, right?
sorry, can you say that again?
To maintain certification, or is that a continuing education requirement? So if I'm Comp Dev certified, I still have to do I still have to get so many points every year to maintain my certification. Is that just my imagination, or is that part of the program?
If I'm not mistaken, I think it's like I'm not sure if it's every year. I would need to check, but I think it's every X year. Like if you don't
Yeah.
have
Well,
your
so
PD
it
points, I
says right here, right? So for instruction beginner, it's 10
yep,
points every 5 years to
Okay.
maintain your instruction beginner. And then for Comp Int, it's 20 points every 20 years.
Okay.
And then for Comp Dev, it's 30 points every 5 years.
All right.
And the points that you can earn are actually quite easily available through the online content available through the e-learning section of the locker.
E- Even the free stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
yep. So yeah, so actually, like on this slide, we have all the NCCP courses. So actually, Chris, while you're, for example, waiting to while we're waiting to get like the next group for ComDev for you to jump in and do your evaluation. I'm not sure if you have completed all the NCCP courses, but in the meantime, like that's something that you could complete and take uh,
Yeah.
take in advance. So those are all the multi-sport courses in the pathway. And yeah, and like as we were talking about earlier, like all the boxing e-modules that are available on the locker
Yep.
are also in the pathway to be completed. So um and yeah, so to be certified, so we have the make ethical decisions and managing conflict, NCCP, oh, and the leading drug-free sport, NCCP courses. And then for the portfolio, so the portfolio is divided into like 5, 6 sections. So we have, as we're talking, like the performance analysis evaluation, um, the annual program components and annual program design, so which is the yearly training plan for the athletes. And we have another section that's called the managing a sport program. So those 4 sections all together, they form the portfolio, and then we have observation uh, 2 other observations. So one of them is in a training environment and another is in a competition environment. So in the training environment, so whenever we have or we host training camps, it's always a good opportunity to have coaches if they want to do their observation then, or also when I talked with Brendan last time, um, just for the training component, it's possible to do it from your own boxing gym, but just like, for example, the coach needs to make sure that when they record their session, because it's basically a 1 hour session that you need to film yourself and like show how you interact with your athletes and like show like the whole training session, but it's just If the coaches are interested to do it in their own gym, like just make sure that the image is clear and like the sound comes clear. If you have a mic that you can connect through like the camera, like good. Like we can do it at the training center when we host training camps, but if the coaches can do something like similar, like clean and clear in their own boxing gym, they're welcome to do it as well. And so that's for the training observation, and yeah, the other one is the observation in competition, which we can start and look into making actually we can start thinking about like doing a list for the next like most prepared coaches who would be ready to do it like in 2026 for
Yeah, and so just to clarify some of what Andréane said there and build on it, at each of the national training camps, so the U23 camp, the Elite January camp, and the January U19, U17, and Youth Olympic Games camp, we have put together the option for coaches to be able to do a training observation if they attend those, because it's easy. We've got a bunch of great athletes who are there, plus the National Training Center has a bunch of pretty good camera equipment that we can put to task in order to facilitate people getting that observation done. At competition, it can be a little bit more difficult to be able to do a remote evaluation, but being able to do an in-person evaluation at either a national championships or at the Canada Cup, where we've got a lot of control over things, that is absolutely a possibility. And then looking at other major competitions, so things like a provincial championships, there are opportunities to do this, but doing it remote is much more difficult in competition simply because it's harder to have a video of the coach for an entire hour or 2 hours. It's a lot easier to just walk around behind them with a clipboard. So we're working on those, but take a look in our handbooks for events, and take a look in the NTP for registration links for coaches to be able to do these evaluation activities either in the training observation or in the competition observation.
Cool.
okay. So Chris, did you have any questions before I move on? No? Okay.
No,
So
no, no, all good. Thank you.
okay, great. And so just to talk a bit about the instruction beginner and comp intro evaluation process that we talked a bit earlier. So how it works is well, either in person, if one of the coaches who wants to get an evaluation, they know personally one of the few evaluators that we had on our list before in their province, they can ask them and just like do everything with them, do all the work to get their evaluation done. Like the fees will go directly to the evaluator. It's just that me on my end, at some point, I will get a notification on the locker and I will just approve it. And like I will see that X coach will have done an evaluation with X evaluator. So that's for the in-person part, but for the remote part, so we have on the link there, we have the link for the evaluation where the coaches can just click and purchase their evaluation. So it's for regular evaluation, it's 180, and then as we said a bit before, if there's a rush option or a challenge, then there's going to be a bit more fees. And once we receive that request, I manually go on a Google Doc where we have all our evaluation requests. I put the names there and I assign them with one of our either Hunter, who takes care of all the Ontario Manitoba, and I think 2, 3 provinces. Jordan takes care of like all the west, so BC, Alberta, and Celeste takes care of all the Quebec and eastern provinces. So I assigned the coach to one of those evaluators, and then from one of those evaluators, they will get an email outlining all the process, what they have completed already, and like with highlights, what needs to be done, what's already completed, with the next steps, if it's the training session that they will need to record themselves, showing a basic skill, and so on. On top of there's 3 videos that they will be shared, both in the instruction beginner and comp intro processes, where they need to detect errors and outline what's the correct method to sorry, I'm at I don't know how to what's the correct way to do like the boxing technique. So they need to provide all those documents back to their evaluator. So the thing is, this can actually be completed very fast depending on coaches. But I think the challenge is that some coaches take more time to provide back their boxing tasks to their evaluators. So it's actually up to the coaches. It can take a matter of a couple hours to complete their boxing tasks, or sometimes it's just that coaches, it takes a lot of time before they email back their videos and their grids to their evaluators. So sometimes it takes months, like it depends, but it can be done very fast. So once that's completed, the evaluator will either contact me to update the locker, or they will do it themselves, and I just approve the event, and the coach will be certified. Okay, and this is just a trend over the last couple months that we have with the help of Jordan, Hunter, and Celeste. There's been an increase in the evaluations completed. So both for instruction beginner on the left and comp intro on the right. So yeah, so just as we were saying just before, so can be done very fast, and like that's the thing. Now we just chatted about this a couple of days ago, to avoid coaches to take so long to complete their tasks, because some of them, like it's been up to a year, but it's really easy to like do it fast. So we want to now put a new deadline where they'll have a month to complete their tasks, and if it exceeds, well, there might just be new fees on top of that to like complete their certification, because it's just we don't want them to get lost in the loop and just never get their certification, and then like they just get back to us whenever we have national championships, and that's usually where we get a rush of evaluations from so many coaches waiting at the last minute, and we want to avoid that. So now we'll try and see how it works with having a deadline, and hopefully it'll help us get more coaches certified and faster as well.
Yeah, and we haven't sort of settled on this 1 month yet, but we would like to be kind of aggressive in this, simply because having those evaluators waiting and waiting and waiting, it can become quite a task just to remember who's, who you've got in your evaluation queue. And the reality is all of the information on the tasks that you need to do for the evaluations, particularly for instruction beginner and comp intro, are available on the web. Like anyone can look at it right now and, get that stuff prepared in advance and then just purchase their evaluation online. The evaluator contacts them and then boom, you just send over your information that you've already taken care of. So
Mm-hmm.
we would really, really like to not have that big gap between the number of complete evaluations and the incomplete evaluations because we're sitting at what 75 incomplete evaluations heading into the winter break right now for instruction beginner and about 25 or 30 on competition introduction, and that's a lot of loose ends that are out there in the system right now.
Apologize for being one of those loose ends. I'll clean it up before year I
Uh,
hear what you're saying. I will fix the problem.
Okay, and so I think this slide now will probably be more of interest to you, Chris. So those are all the boxing e-modules that we were talking about earlier for the ComDev pathway. So so as we said earlier on the old platform, so now we don't need to worry about this website to go and complete the e-modules. So everything is on the locker. So actually, if you have any questions about accessing those, like you can always send me an email and we can check on that together. But
Perfect.
now all the glitches and like there were some small glitches in the e-modules in the last couple of weeks, but now that everything has been updated, I have not heard back, so that's great. So the three series, as we were talking about, are as below. So the first one, it's called Demands of Competitive Boxing, and then in that series you have Module 1, Basic and Advanced Boxing Techniques, Module 2, Mental Abilities, and so on. So they all need to be completed in that order. And then when you complete the last one, for example, Vulnerability in Boxing, then you can unlock Series 2, How to Win at Competitive Boxing, which has the e-modules, scoring system and judging, gold medal profile, and so on. And then you unlock again the last one, how to analyze the performance of competitive boxers. So then you have the last two, performance analysis. It's like this one, it's more like, and I know that you did the course already last year, so it's more like I'd like to call it more like an online resource, just like with information. It's not more like, it's not much of a course like the other ones. Like it's all interactive e-learning, but it's more like a dump of information and principles of biomechanics as well.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah,
Looking
and I
forward to
think I think ideally what we would like, and once we're through sort of this backlog, is that everyone would go through all of these three modules, and then be ready to then do the performance analysis course like you did, and with the evaluation tagged onto the end of that course. So you have the introduction of these performance analysis and principles of biomechanics information, and then we apply that information during the actual course.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Et ici, c'est la même chose en français, alors.
Yep. And then, so those are some goals that we have for this year, or for the upcoming year. So if there's any learning facilitators or evaluators that we're looking to develop for each province, or if there's any province that contact us and ask us if there's a way to get their coaches trained, like we'll look into it. So we have a goal of this year at least one learning facilitator or evaluator per province. And as we said before, this can be all done remotely on a Zoom call with our master coach developer. And for the ComDev, the PA course, that Chris, you've done. So we're looking at having 2 of those per year. So next one I'll have to check, actually, probably like sometimes early 2026, like maybe February, March. So that gives enough time for our learning facilitator to get ready and to get a small group of people organized for this. So we're looking at having 2 per year, well, 2 in English and at least 1 in French. And yeah, so I can't remember exactly last year. I think Chris, it was with Seth's group, it was 5 or 6 sessions. So this one version with the evaluation at the end. So the courses are a bit longer. So I think last year was like 2 hours with Seth. Now it's 3 hours, but so it's 4 sessions of 3 hours, and the 5th session, it's just like the session of the evaluation with the presentations like online. So that's the new format that we have. And how we had it last time, it was like approximately 15 minutes per person. So they can present their work, present their videos to the evaluator, like the learning facilitator that runs the course. And you don't need to be there for the whole, like, so like we also book like a 3-hour slot, but for example, we set the list of names. Okay, for example, Coach A will go right at the start at 1 p.m. Coach B will go at 1:15 and so on. So people can log in like a couple minutes before their time, or maybe one presentation before their time comes. And once they're done, they can log off. And then if there's a follow-up with the learning facilitator by email after, then like the learning facilitator will contact the coach and so on. But just so you know, like the new format. So it's all presentations. And yeah, it was 15 minutes. You present your videos of, like, for example, past, I think it was like for example, you need to analyze boxing, not mistake, but for example, if there's a bad habit that you had with one of your boxers, you have a video of that, you present it, then you explain what's the mistake, and then you have a new video of the corrected way, the improved way of like you teaching the corrections to your boxer. Um, and yeah, so that's basically how you do the presentation over 15 minutes. Um, and yeah, and just as we were talking also a bit earlier about the PD points available on the locker. So if there's any free courses that you see, it's always like free PD points to add on your coaching transcript. There's a lot of them on the locker when you go in the multi-sport tab. So if anything, you can always send me an email.
Okay. Cool.
And of course, internationally sanctioned competitions, we're trying to put on at least one course or education session, I shouldn't call it a course, for PD points. And for instance, at Winnipeg, it was a discussion amongst the national team coaches about how they dealt with the poor results at our World Cup, where we had 0 wins and then had 5 weeks to sort of regroup, get the team back focused on performance in order to be ready to execute at the World Championships. And of course, the World Championships, we ended up with 2 top 8s and a medal. So I think
Yeah.
they were successful.
Did at one point I thought that was going to get put online.
Yeah, and we did not manage to do that. We had
Okay.
they had to move the schedule to an earlier start, to 11 a.m. instead of 1 p.m. So we were in a bit of a time crunch, unfortunately. But
Okay.
yeah.
Uh, okay, and just a couple oncoming projects for the next year. So now we're looking at updating the comp intro content and do a small revision of the instruction beginner and comp intro workshops. So there's been some talks with some of the learning facilitators between the different provinces where one of the like issues that always comes up is like during the workshops, maybe there's not enough time, like focus about just talking about just boxing. Like maybe there's too much time that is lost talking about multi-sport content, whereas this could be, for example, put into e-learnings, like what we've just done with ComDev. So that's something that we're gonna start and look into doing, just so in the future, for um, those two levels, so for both instruction beginner and comp intro, the learning facilitators will be able to just focus on during their 1 day or 2 day training over the weekend, if they have more time to dedicate to boxing um, content. So if it's just like showing how to throw a jab or show like focus more time on the like proper footwork and so on, instead of reading or talking about textbook stuff that can just be done online and remotely from a computer. So that's the idea we're looking to get into. So revisit a bit of the content, what can be removed from those workshops and put into an e-learning. So the learning facilitators will have more time to just talk about boxing stuff and better prepare the coaches for the next level as well.
Yeah, and then when we're looking at these new courses, there are the two that we're looking at developing, and the first is essentially a pre-instruction beginner course that is really focused on not on coaching at all, is really just about instructing and how to convert sort of a 14 or 15-year-old kid who's in your club and how to get them ready so that they can run, a beginning level fitness oriented program at the club, for the club, right, in a safe way. So it's looking at principles of safety, principles of risk management. It's not really about trying to create a boxing coach. It's about how can we have someone set up so they can efficiently run a program and we can trust that no one's going to get injured, everyone's going to be supervised, run them through some scenarios on, what are common problems that we get from our participants and how to deal with them. The other new course that we're looking at is actually coming out of tennis and golf. They have a coaching course that is all about how to run a successful business. Because of course, in those two sports, a lot of the coaches are independent business people who will set up, essentially a private training or private coaching opportunity with a bunch of different clients. And we're looking at modifying this a little bit with this understanding that in boxing we're revolved around a club environment. And what can we do in order to get our coaches who are interested in running a club or starting up their own club prepared for that? And it is less about the coaching aspects and more about the logistics and administration, risk management, and how to be successful and how to avoid being unsuccessful. And we're lucky in Canada, we've got quite a number of very successful clubs, and we're going to be reaching out to those club owners for their input on this course. And then the sort of these last two bits, so the minimum standards for coaching, this is increasingly happening across the country, and we're quite pleased that provinces are implementing a minimum standard that's required for participation, and we're all for it, and you'll see an update to the national standard on the next slide. And then, of course, making sure that we've got those comp dev evaluation opportunities at major camps and events. And so this is just our update on what those nationally sanctioned requirements are going to be starting in 2026. So in just a few weeks, we are going to be upping the minimum standard very slightly. So if you are only instruction beginner trained, last year you were able to be in the corner. However, this year you must be certified. And if you're certified at instruction beginner, you must still be with someone who is certified at a higher level. And this is our step for 2026 to sort of up those requirements a little bit. But by 2028, we are going to be pushing that at a nationally sanctioned competition, you must be certified at competition introduction as a minimum standard to be on the field of play. So that's around the corner, in the corner, like literally in the ring, in the breaks, but everyone needs to be certified at either competition introduction or be in the process of working on their comp dev. We will no longer by 2028 have instruction beginner coaches participating at our nationally sanctioned competitions. And this gives us a lot of runway to pull this off. I'm quite confident that we can, but we just want to make sure everyone's got a big heads up on this. And again, this is nationally sanctioned competitions only. So this is our national championships, whether they're elite or the U23, U19, U17, or the Canada Cup, or if there are any other nationally sanctioned competitions that come into effect, then they will fall under this as well. Okay, and that's it. So we've got our next meeting already scheduled. We're on a 3-month rotation for these, and in months where we don't have coach updates, we've got officials updates, and we've got a PTSO specific update. So just to let everyone know that if you're really, really jonesing for things to do on the second Thursday and Friday of every month, we've got content to fill your hours. So
all right.
yeah.
Is there going to be an HP update in December or no?
Pardon?
Is there an HP update in December?
There will be. It would be late, so we're gonna have to run it a little early. But thank you for reminding me. No one got back to me saying that they were so torn up that we skipped over one in November. And again, we were
I was looking for the link, but
yeah, we were hoping to be able to do it live from Winnipeg, but with the schedule that changed, we just got completely rolled over, unfortunately. But luckily, it was a great competition, so it wasn't too big a loss. But we will schedule one because I think having one in December is important to be able to go over sort of everything in plans for the NTP 2026.
Yeah.
And and looking forward to a brand new year.
Excellent.
Great.
Well, thanks again for the custom presentation.
Well, and thank you for all the good questions. It's really appreciated. So,
all right. Adrienne, I will follow up with you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, shoot me an email. Don't hesitate.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.